Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Franz von Holzhausen, and I'm Chief of Design for Tesla Motors, and I'm super excited that you guys came out on a Monday night, the end of September. Beautiful night we have for you. This is our design studio here in Hawthorne, and we have something really special to talk about and to show you. So, without further ado, let me introduce to you Mr. Elon Musk.
All right, thanks everyone for coming. So what we want to show you tonight is essentially the answer to the three major problems that are holding back electric vehicles, or at least that people think are holding back electric vehicles. One is this question of being able to drive long distances conveniently. And with a gasoline car, you can drive, in theory, anywhere you want with high convenience. Well, how do you do that with an electric car? And that's what the Supercharger is going to enable. Then another question is, what do we do about the fact that when electricity is generated, it is generated at a power plant? And so what about this idea that the emissions are just pushed to the power plant? And we're going to show you how we address that. And then the third is, well, what about the cost of electric vehicles? How do you compare the cost of electric vehicles with the cost of gasoline vehicles? And we'll address all three of those things. The answer to that is what we're going to show you here with the Tesla Supercharger. So we're going to have these at highway rest stops all around the country and around the world. And that's combined with the solar power deck that you see there. So that provides the solar power that goes to the Supercharger and then to the cars. So what we're able to do here with the Supercharger is charge at about 100 kilowatts. And going forward, potentially as much as 120 kilowatts. What that means is you could drive for 3 hours, stop for less than half an hour, and recharge and be ready to go again. So, yeah. So if you take the typical trip that someone experiences when they're driving, let's say you started out at 9 a.m. and you drove for 3 hours. Around noon, you'd want to stop for a bite to eat, go to the restroom, grab a coffee and be on your way. And that actually takes about 20 to 30 minutes. And what you can do with the Supercharger, you can just plug your car in, and by the time you're done with all that, you're ready to go again. So there's no meaningful difference between driving an electric car and driving a gasoline car. And the Supercharger, this is not something that's going to be deployed at some distant point in the future. This is video from today showing 4 of the Supercharger locations in use. So we actually have 6 Superchargers installed already. There's 4 of them: Barstow, Folsom, Tejon, and Harris. And in fact, we have here 2 of the people that the first 2 non-Tesla people to use the Supercharger network. And we'll go to them in a moment. One is Brad Berman from the New York Times, and he's driven all the way from Tahoe to Los Angeles. It's over 500 miles today. And in fact, he's going to be writing a story that's going to be in this Sunday's New York Times, so look for that when it comes out. And then there's one of our customers, Ben Weiss, took delivery of the car in Las Vegas and drove here from Las Vegas. You can actually do that trip nonstop, as Motor Trend did, but you can also do it really fast with the air conditioning on if you use a Supercharger network. So Ben took advantage of that. and then he's going to be driving on from here to Santa Barbara. So you can drive from Las Vegas to Santa Barbara no problem with this network. And so it's actually already deployed, so you can drive almost anywhere in California right now. This is not like I said. This is not some figment of imagination that maybe it'll happen some point in the future. These are installed. We built these up in secret, and we're unveiling it for the first time tonight. So. So by the end of this year, in a few months, we'll actually have a bunch more installed in California and extending to Nevada and Oregon. And going beyond that, within 2 years, this is not an exaggeration, within 2 years, we will cover almost the entire United States with superchargers. You'll be able to travel practically anywhere. And then our long-term goal, which is perhaps in the sort of 4 or 5 year time frame, so not Tesla long term, 4 or 5 year time frame, we expect to cover the entire United States without exception and the lower part of Canada. So, yeah. And then, in addition, beyond this, we'll obviously have superchargers in Europe and Asia, so you'll be able to travel almost anywhere in the world with an electric car, with your Model S, with the same level of convenience as a gasoline car. And then, because we have the solar power systems that are providing the energy, and we're sizing the solar power systems with Solar City to generate more power than the cars use over the course of a year. So the solar powered system will actually put more power back into the grid than the cars use during driving. When this is a very important thing, because it goes to the heart of the argument that people will use to say, oh, well, this doesn't really address the CO2 problem because what about the power plant? They know, this is putting more energy back in the grid than the cars use. Okay. And in creating this, the supercharger and the solar panels and all that, working closely with Solar City and using the existing charger technology that we have in the Model S, running in parallel, we're able to use the economies of scale of the Model S and do the whole thing very inexpensively, which is also very, very important because it's going to enable us to offer this to Model S customers for free. So for Model S cars that have supercharger hardware installed, which will be the case for the 85 kilowatt hour pack, and for a small incremental charge for the 60 kilowatt hour pack, you'll be able to travel for free forever on pure sunlight. So I think it's pretty hard to beat that. You know, I mean, free long distance, you're not going to get that with gasoline. So, yeah, or AT&T, yeah. So I think this day will actually go down as being quite historic. I think at least on par with SpaceX docking with the space station earlier this year. I mean, I really think this is important. And really, I want you to go out there and